Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'd like to start this one out by apologizing because I haven't made a new video in like 6 months. I think the last video I posted was in February and it was a YouTube short. The last full-size video I posted was sometime last year, like October or something. I just was focusing less on RC cars. I had to focus on other stuff like getting my real car running and driving. But I'll be back to making RC car videos more often. I got a new truck. It needs a new battery, but hopefully I'll have some videos of the Slash soon. But today's video is all about the Honcho. I got some new RC four-wheel drive shocks. I got them on Facebook for $50 for the four of them. They're 110 millimeters, pretty sure. The only thing I can really tell that's wrong with them is when they sit for a while, they kind of get stuck and it takes a bit of force, but once they're unstuck, they're totally free. I'm hoping when I put some shock fluid in there, they'll be fine and that binding problem at first will be gone. But because I haven't made an actual build video of the Honcho yet, I'm going to go do a little overview of the upgrades I've already done so far. Starting with the outside, a pretty obvious one, wheels and tires. These are Amazon special wheels. They were $36, but they look like method wheels. They work well enough. I have a set. Hold on. Deep in a drawer. I have a set of RC four-wheel drive steel beadlocks, which I'd still really like to put on the truck, but I tried and I could not get them to fit with the Proline Hyraxes. So I bought some cheap Amazon wheels. They work fine. They have brass wheel rings, so they weigh a pretty hefty amount. I took a picture. I think they're 195 grams each wheel and tire combo. I love the Hyraxes. Very grippy. Lots of weight down low because of the brass wheel rings. But I'd still, even with the less weight, I'd still rather have these on because they look way better. Other upgrades, I have quite a bit of 3D printed stuff. I've got this one sand ladder, traction board, whatever you call it. I'd actually rather have an orange one. At some point I might buy a couple orange ones, but it works well back here. I've got this fire extinguisher that I painted some of the pieces on it. I guess not really pieces, it's all one piece, but some of the sections on it. I got a spare tire, which is just one of the old tires. I got tail light buckets, but no lights. On the front, it's not really a scale thing, more of a performance thing, but I have a bumper lift. I don't like the look of it. I don't like the look of the bumper being higher up, but the performance is absolutely worth it. Like, if you have a 3D printer, or access to a 3D printer, print a bumper lift, it's totally worth it. I think that's it for the outside, really. I haven't done much. Moving on to the, oh wait, there's holes. Well, they're really hard to see. There's holes on the roof because I had a cheap Amazon light bar that, if you notice, is missing a grill because it fell off and I lost it. And I had it on there for a while. It looked good. This is the style I want. I want a pod light bar. I'll probably end up buying the axial one that comes on the deadbolt, but I didn't completely like it, so I just took it off, and it's metal, so it's heavy weight up high. Inside, I obviously have a body hinge back there that is 3D printed. I didn't think I would like it as much as I do. It's another worthwhile upgrade, just like the bumper lift. It saves a lot of time undoing the 4 clips. You can only lose 2 clips because I don't have any body posts back here. I have aluminum shock towers. I bought these more because of the amount of holes for shock placement and less because they're stronger. Strongness was just sort of an extra when I bought them. The only problem with these shock towers is the front mounting holes are backwards. So these are actually the stock rear body mounts that I just drilled some holes into where I wanted them, and I mean, it lines up perfectly. The only real difference between stock and this is that the body clips are sort of at an angle instead of perpendicular with the car, which doesn't actually really matter all that much. I have some steel Endura drive shafts, front and rear. They're drive shafts. They work. They haven't failed yet. I was having a problem with the front one. This joint right here, the pin was falling out for some strange reason. So I bought the front one, and then I was like, oh, but I gotta have a matching pair, so I bought the rear one. Inside the transfer case, I guess, I have incision gears. These are the stock gears in the bag, but I've got incision gears in there just so that I don't have to worry about plastic gears failing. And they have not failed me yet. They aren't even actually all that loud for metal gears. They're very nice. Battery, I run these Avonic Air 2200 milliamp 2 cells. They work well enough. I have 2 of them. I rarely actually have to switch to the second one because I get like almost an hour out of each battery, which is awesome. I have this cheap 25 kilogram Amazon servo. When I first got the truck, I'm not sure if it was the servo or some other electronic that failed, but I mean, the stock servo still works, so it must have been another electronic, but this is still worth it. Higher torque, it's a little bit faster than stock. Hasn't failed me since I got it like a week after I got the truck, so it hasn't broken. This is technically a stock ESC, but it's actually out of a Cherokee Scx10 because it doesn't have the little light dongles, which is why I'm not running any lights. At some point, the ESC burned out. I don't know why, but I was too eager to get the truck back running that I just bought an ESC online without thinking, oh, the Cherokee has different plugs and stuff than the Honcho. Stock motor. In here, I have a Radiolink receiver because I'm running this RC4GS remote. It's nice. I plan on connecting all of my trucks to it someday. The Slash should be an easy one because all I have to do is replace the receiver, but the TRX form and the Scx24 is going to take a little bit more work. Stock shocks, obviously we're replacing those today. I have a stainless steel screw kit from RC Screws. This is another Cherokee thing on my Honcho. I also regret buying the Cherokee version because it didn't come with any of the screws for the cage back here, so all these are still regular non-stainless, and I mean, it's not a big problem. They blend in better when they're black, but I prefer stainless because I don't like rust. I hate rust, actually. I think that's everything I've done to the truck so far. Stock bumper, stock suspension arm, stock axle. Oh, wait. I have not actually going to be able to show this very well. But I have universal axle shafts in the front. These are another cheap Amazon thing that I bought. They're a little rusty, actually. But they don't really, I mean, as far as I know, they don't make stainless ones. I'm sure they do, but they're probably twice as much as I paid for them. Stock foams in the tires. I think at some point I'm going to buy airless, the silicone tire inserts, so that, I don't know, so it don't fill with water. I guess they're beadlocks, so they don't fill with water anyways, but the silicone weighs more. I guess that's a bonus. I think that's it for stuff I've already done to the truck. Yep. So, I have never filled shocks with fluid, so this is going to be a learning experience on camera. Let me just reposition there. Try to ignore my tripod. There we go. So this is 30 weight Team Losi Racing. I think it was like $8 at my local hobby shop, which is not bad. These are empty. So, I mean, like, look at that. Rebound. Instant. They have, the last guy put these little black stoppers on there so they don't fully compress, so the piston inside doesn't hit the top. I think I'm just going to leave those on there for now. At some point, I mean, I don't know, I might cut them down like half the thickness so that the shock can compress more. But right now they're fine. I mean, they're used shocks, so like the anodization of the aluminum is a bit beat up here and there. Like there's some, I can't get it to focus, come on. There's some scraping on the bottom, and there's scraping on the bottom of all of them. So I guess I'm just gonna open one of these up and figure out. I mean, I watched a few videos before to learn a little bit of how to fill these, but actually doing it is a completely different story. Oh, you can't see the piston. I can see the piston. There's zero fluid in there. There's just enough to like lube it so it doesn't get stuck. So do I just, is this sealed in any way? Hold on, wait, there might be a, there is. What is this? Wait, what is that blue thing? How do I take it out? I don't want to spill any of this fluid. That works. Okay. Glad I checked that, because I would have just been dumping this thing upside down and go, what? Why is there no fluid coming out? Probably should have gotten some paper towels before I started this. Pump it up and down, get the air bubbles out. So I guess now it's like almost perfectly filled. I did that beautifully the first time. I put this back on. Get it tight. I don't want all the fluid to leak out like my stock shocks did. Why is it not? Come on. Maybe I gotta, I'm gonna go get some paper towels. Hold on. Yay, paper towels. Now I can make less of a mess. Let me just move some of this out of the way. Oh, we had shop towels. Dude, I should have gotten those. Whatever. These should work. So I think I watched somebody open to this side. Why is it not? It's like none of the fluid is, I mean, like, I know how shock works, right? If the fluid goes through the piston, and because the fluid's thick enough, that's why it's dampening, but it seems like the fluid's not going through the piston. Maybe I didn't do it perfectly first try. It sure looked like I did. It was filled like almost to the top, but not quite. Maybe these shocks aren't as perfect as I thought they were. Oh, there's air bubbles at the top there. I'm gonna let those pop. Maybe I can get those. Oh yeah, look at all those air bubbles. It's not focused the best, but seriously, I cannot get this thing to focus. Focus. Well, I mean, you can see the air bubbles. So I'm gonna let these pop. Come on. Oh, there's still more coming up from the depths of the shock. This is gonna take longer than I thought. Alright, so it's been like, I don't know, 4 minutes. I got all the air bubbles out of the fluid. It looks pretty. I mean, there's no more shiny specks like there was, even though it still won't go in focus. Yeah, it seems like all the air bubbles are gone. It flows smoothly when the shock cap is off. Am I supposed to... Hold on. Do this. Let me do this. Okay, so if I pull the arm all the way down and then I put the shock cap on, then that's as far as it compresses. I mean, like, it's not a lot. So I'm thinking I'm gonna pour some fluid back in here. Take the shock cap back off. Fully compress it. Yeah, there's not a single air bubble. Pour a little back in to where there's just enough room for the threads. Wipe it off. Okay, so what if I close this while it's compressed? I feel like I've watched so many videos and they went so flawlessly for those other guys. So if I do this while it's compressed, alright, close that. Oh, I think I got it, guys. I mean, that feels pretty... It's not compressing all the way. I mean, it's a whole lot better than it was when I was putting the cap on before. Maybe there's just a little bit too much fluid in the chamber. I mean, I guess this is the experimentation shock. Figure out what I'm doing wrong on this one, and then I do it right on all the other ones. Just want to take a little bit. These things hold way less than I thought they did. Wow, that was so little it didn't even go in the cup. Okay, wait, I gotta compress it all the way first. And then, come on, thread. There we go. Oh, don't do that. Don't uncompress. That's, I mean, it automatically rebounds and I can compress it all the way down to the rubber stopper thing now. Oh, let me put the springs back on. I never quite liked the look of the two-spring design, and I never actually planned on buying King shocks for this truck. But I mean, 50 bucks is pretty good for a set of shocks that would normally be 100 bucks. Okay, so the springs are on. That feels, I mean, it feels, it's harder to push than it was when there was no fluid, but that makes sense. I mean, it's still rebounding just about as fast. I don't know, maybe I should have gone. I don't actually know anything about shock fluid, like what I should run, so I just kind of went with 30. I was thinking 30 or 35. I watched quite a few, like, what fluid should I put in my crawler shocks videos. Yeah, that feels nice. Oh, comparing to one without fluid, it's so much better, and it's like actually quieter. Like this one's making almost like a hissing noise. I guess they're both making a hissing noise, but this one's way quieter. Yeah, so the one with the fluid is way better. I think I did it right finally. Compresses all the way, it rebounds, it's nice and smooth. So I think now that I've figured it out, I'm going to do a time lapse for the other three, since this one shock took like 8 or 10 minutes. I don't know, I'm not actually keeping track of time. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do time lapse of these other three starting now. Okay, so I got all the shocks filled. That went surprisingly quick. I think it was like 8 minutes that it took me to do the other three, because, well, I figured out how to do it with the first one. They all feel about the same. This one feels like, I don't know, maybe a little less difficult. Maybe there's just like a slightly less oil in this one. I don't know. Other than that, yeah, this one feels slightly less filled. Maybe I might add a little bit more to this one, but the rest of them feel about the same. So now that they are all filled, I'm going to put them on the truck. So let me, the oil, it just gets like, I don't understand how, but it's like on the back of my hand. It just gets everywhere. I just have to wash my hands. Ooh, scary. Okay. Let's put them on the oh, the camera changed. Yeah, I forgot one of the legs of my tripod fell off the desk. So the camera positioning is a little different. So, I mean, I guess we just start with this one. I'm assuming I'm gonna, because they're longer than stock. The stock are 90 millimeter, I think, and these are 110. So I'm assuming I'm gonna have to put them on a different mounting hole on my shock tower. But I'm sure I can figure it out. You know what? Let's see if my electric screwdriver has enough torque to take these out. Come on. Can it do it? I know it can do this one, but can it do this one that's in the plastic? Oh, it cannot. Oh, there it goes. Nice. That saves me a lot of time. Awesome. So yeah, these are stock compared to the new. I don't think these are a whole 10 millimeter, 20 millimeter. Maybe these are 100 and these are 90. I'm pretty darn sure the stock ones are 90. So, I mean, these certainly look a lot nicer. And these have no fluid in them because it all leaked out the bottom. Do I mount it like this or like this? Do like this. So, I mean, these were mounted on the middle hole, I'm pretty sure. You can't even see those holes in the middle. It's 3x3, so maybe it was the bottom on the middle? I don't know, I'm going to put this one in the dead center. I'm assuming I'm going to have to fine tune these, because ride height's going to be different, suspension travel is going to be different. Probably gonna take the body off for the other 3. Honestly, I'll probably do a time lapse because this has already been like 3 minutes of just putting this one in. I don't like making long videos. Oh, getting this lined up is difficult. Come on, you can do it. Get it threaded in by hand. Send it. Oh, it's not threaded. It feels threaded. There we go. Oh, let's look at it. I love how this thing struggles more as it gets further in. Yeah. Get that last. Get torque down. Alright, let's see how this thing sits. I should have more suspension travel too, because they're a little bit longer. Well, it certainly sits higher. It's actually not too bad, actually. I might leave it on that hole, but body clips. I want to see if there's a difference in suspension travel. One clip is fine. Oh, I gotta back up the camera. Oh yeah, the King Shock droops a little bit more. That's like, see, it looks like it's drooping 10 millimeters more. There are 20 millimeters more, but it doesn't look like the shock is longer. And these are even mounted on a higher up hole. That's so weird. Okay, well, I think I'm gonna do a time lapse of the other 3, just to save some time in editing and for you. So yeah, second time lapse of the video. So I'm halfway through the time lapse. I got the front shock on. That's not too bad. Is there more flex? Right now I have it on the uppermost, backmost hole, so it's kind of angled. It's highest up. Because honestly, no matter where I mount it, I'm gonna have more flex. But I want the right height to stay about the same as it was when it was stuck. And I do have a little bit more droop from that King Shock, even though it's on the uppermost hole. So I think that's kind of where I'm going to leave it for now. But I paused the time lapse because I realized in my overview I forgot to mention I have a fuel cell, or really a fuel cell holder. On the stock Honcho, it's just a big hole here. It's like one of the worst things about the Honcho. But this is 3D printed. I designed it. It's on my Thingiverse, which I'll put in the description, and it's also on my channel, like, about section. It fits around the shock towers if you've moved them forward, or it just kind of follows the line of the bed if that's just something you want anyways and you haven't moved the shock towers forward. But like Night Customs makes one that's just kind of a box, and so if you had your shock towers moved forward, you'd have to like cut part of it out, and then that would kind of just make a hole all the way through anyways, so it defeat the purpose. So yeah, this one accommodates the shock tower relocation. It fills the hole, it drains water out the bottom so it doesn't fill with water, and it's one of my favorite things that I've printed. You can print it on my Thingiverse. Someday when I get a 3D printer, I'll probably sell these for like, I don't know, $5 if you ever want to get one. So slight little interruption from the time lapse, but I got distracted by that. So back to the time lapse. Okay, so I got all the shocks in. all the tires back on. Feels, that's solid. Bounces a little less than it used to with this. Stock shocks with no oil in them. There's not a single drop in here. I think I'm still going to adjust it a little bit. I still wish, I want it to sit like here. Ooh, it kind of, I don't know, I feel like the camera's not portraying it well, but the back almost looks higher than the front. So I think I'm going to mess around with the placement on the shock towers a little bit. The front is kind of as low as it gets. It's on the uppermost hole and all the way back, so that, I mean, I don't know how this science works, but when a shock is angled, like backwards or forwards, on the back, the spring rate is somehow softer. So these are angled as far back as they can go, and it's as high up as it can go, so there's the least amount down here. So the front's as low as it gets, even though I kind of want it to be a little bit lower, but I mean, it's nicer shocks. I can't really complain. I'm gonna mess around a little bit with the back because I still feel like the back is a little bit higher. Tonight I plan on going to a creek or something, a creek bed. Now that it's getting warm, water levels should be going down. There should be better rocks to play around on. So I'll get a running video on that. Maybe I'll probably put it in this video. But that is shocks installed. They look great. They feel certainly better than the stock oil-less. I never liked blue shocks, but these actually look pretty good. That's not too bad. I can't say it's much more than stock, but that's not too bad. So, thank you everybody so much for watching, and we're going to go into trail run.